Today we've got some footage from the 2019 World Championship Bowling Tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'm going to talk about the rate stretch tool today, as well as editing the duration of your clips. And that's what the rate stretch tool does. But there are some different ways to make this happen. Firstly, let's just take a look at these clips. The first one is in 60 frames per second, and the second one is in 30 frames per second. And the difference between them might be a little subtle right now. If we kind of pan along here, you see the 30 frames per second has a lot of motion blur, and the 60 frames per second does as well, but not as intensely. And the difference in frame rates is really going to matter once we choose to turn one of these clips into slow motion. So let's do just that and then compare them side by side. So first, let's take this 30 frame per second clip. I'm going to right click on it and go under speed/duration. And right here we have a speed percentage. We get to set the percentage. It's at 100%. I'm going to set it to 50%, which means it will double the length of the clip, and then the frame rate will be cut in half. So now it is 15 frames per second. And let's just watch that to see what that looks like. So now it looks kind of really slow and choppy. So let's do the same thing to the 60 frame per second clip. Set it back to 50%. Okay. And now let's watch the two side by side. So now this first clip is at 30 frames per second, which should look more normal, even though it's in slow motion. Now the second clip is at 15 frames per second, which is really unusual. If we undo what we did to the 30 frame per second clip and then play them side by side, they will now have the same frame rate, which means they will look normal together. So let's experiment with the rate stretch tool. You can find the rate stretch tool in the tools panel, and right now it is not visible, but that's because it is under the ripple edit tool. So I'm going to click and hold on the ripple edit tool, bring up this little sub menu, and down at the bottom here is the rate stretch tool. And to use this tool, you can grab at either end of the clip and simply pull it apart. So right now it looks like we're at about 2 seconds. I'm going to try to pull this out 2 more seconds so that it doubles the duration and cuts the frame rate in half to 30 frames per second. Let's click play to see what that looks like. And there we have it. Now I can also use the rate stretch tool to push it in a little bit to do a little fast forwarding. Let's just take a look at that. Oh, that's really fast. Now there's one more situation we might want to use these tools in. And this is just a nice pan of these bowling pins. And I really like the way that this pan works, but I wish that I would have filmed it starting at the top and moving down to the bottom. And there's a way I can change that. I will once again right click on the clip, click on speed/duration, and there's this little checkbox called reverse speed. And this will basically take all of the frames and flip them around so that the video plays in reverse. And now we can see it starts at the top and works its way down. In this video, we have learned how to manipulate the rate of clips.